Hi, and welcome back to Jay's Truth Serum. Thank you for being here. This video is one in a long series of videos that I'm going to be sharing, whereby I show you the moments where I face a hurdle or an obstacle and how I overcome it. It's what I call the mental mechanics, or the mental math that I do in a specific moment when it comes to a difficult feeling, a difficult thought, a behavior that I don't want to partake in, how I work through it. And it's my way of giving the information that helped me build through different moments a larger image of mental health in my life. So let's get started. In this very first video, I'm just going to walk you through the very process, the feelings, the thoughts that seem to be affecting me as I'm making this video. The thoughts that I'm feeling, the things that are bogging me down in between takes, the worries. And we're gonna work through it. We're gonna work through it here. Okay? So I'm noticing I'm nervous. I feel this anxiety, this tension in my neck. My neck is tight. Usually when my neck starts getting tight, I know, I've practiced enough to know that I'm anxious. It's one of my clues that evidences something's up, right? Something's up. Things aren't flowing. The fact that things aren't flowing, the fact that I'm feeling these feelings that are kind of stressing me out, I'm noticing these little things are piling up. And every time I stop the video, I have to take another take. And I have to take another take. And I'm anxious throughout because I feel like nothing's working, right? I feel like nothing's working. I feel like it's not good enough. Those are the thoughts that are coming up to mind. It's not good enough. It's not clear enough. I'm talking too slow. I'm talking too fast. No one's going to understand, right? Those are the thoughts that are popping into my head, along with the physical clues that I'm feeling. And so what I would normally do in that situation, what I would have done in a time period long ago, is I would have fed into it, because I wouldn't have identified the thoughts, I wouldn't have identified the physical clues, I wouldn't have identified the feelings that are adding up, right? It takes practice to stop and do that. What I would have done is not engage, not stop and participate in the moment, because I didn't realize I could participate in the moment. What I would have done is roll along with it, is just roll on through with it, which would just contribute more so to the anxiety, would have contributed more so to the thoughts. I would have just rolled on with, okay, yeah, no, wait, well, what if I am talking too fast? Oh, this is awful. Well, this is going to be no good. I would have just added to the little cloud of worry, right? And it just would have become a bigger cloud and a bigger cloud, which just would have made my physical symptoms, the tension, the tightness, the feelings of anxiety, it would have all just added up, because I would have continued rolling along with it. Now, what I do, and this isn't something that just happens overnight, right? This takes practice. Now what I do is, okay, whoa, I'm sensing the mental clues, I'm sensing the physical clues. I have to stop and understand that's just information. My mind and my body are giving me signals. They're sending me information the only way my mind knows how. My mind can only inform me through certain ways, right? And some of those are through thoughts, and some of those are through physical clues telling me, hey, something's going on here, right? I have worked with myself enough to understand that when I'm going through something like this, there's an emotional need that underlies it, right? It's not a physical need because I'm not hungry, I already ate, I'm hydrated, right? I already slept. It's not one of those. It's not a physical need. So what's it going to be? It's going to be an emotional need for me. In this moment, right? For me, I recognize that what this is about emotional safety, right? It's about attention. It's about acceptance. It's about knowing that this video is going to be watched. It's about knowing that I'm going to portray the message that I need to portray so that it can be seen and heard by others, so that it can be taken in by others. That's the worry, right? So I'm projecting that out into this situation when in reality, it's just about my basic emotional need for safety, for attention, for acceptance, right? Now, it doesn't matter how others respond to this video. The point is, in order for me to get rid of those feelings or those thoughts, because those feelings and those thoughts, me ignoring them, it's just going to get bigger. And it's going to keep me from continuing to make these videos. I can sit and I can tell you this and I can work through it because I realize, well, it's okay. I feel nervous. I feel anxious. I feel tense. This is about my need to feel emotionally safe. To be able to just express myself, to know that I deserve to be seen and heard, to accept that this is relevant information that I feel is relevant information. I am conveying it, and that is all that I can do. By me sitting and acknowledging those basic needs for myself, regardless of how anyone responds to that. By me sitting here and doing that, what I am doing, and this is why meditation and mindfulness work. What I am doing by sitting here and acknowledging, as opposed to just feeding into it and running with it and continuing to be anxious, by stopping and sitting and acknowledging it, I'm fulfilling my own emotional need. It's like when you get thirsty, you feel that thirst and you go and you hydrate. That's what I'm doing. I'm acknowledging I have this basic emotional need to express myself. That's what I'm doing, right? That's why it's so important for me to do this video and to do it right? To feel seen and heard, to be accepted. I'm acknowledging I have this basic emotional need. Let me sit with it. Let me register that it's not about this video. It's not about what anybody says. It's about these basic emotional needs, right? I felt the hunger pang for those needs. Let me sit and acknowledge myself. Let me sit and acknowledge that that's what this is about. Let me sit and acknowledge that I deserve it, that I deserve to understand that I have these basic needs, right? Let me sit and tend to me. Let me sit and accept my own emotional need, right? And in doing so, sitting here and doing so, what I am doing is fulfilling my own emotional need. I am recognizing each, and I am fulfilling it. And guess what happens? Literally, as I have been here, vocalizing it, working through it, I fulfill it. And the tension, gone. The tension is gone. The thoughts have subsided. The worries have subsided. Simply from me being here a couple of minutes, vocalizing what actually went on. Me breaking down the mental mechanics, me doing the mental math of this is what's happening. Let me stop and observe. I'm noticing these bits, right? This is what's happening mentally, physically, right? This is what the worry is. Let me vocalize it. Let me put it into words for myself. Let me acknowledge, okay, it's not about this video, is it? This video is not fulfilling really anything. I fulfill, right? This is about something that's going on in here, not what's happening out here. So let me check back in with myself. Let me acknowledge, what do I really need from this? And then doing it for myself. Is it about emotional safety? I sit and I make space for me to make myself emotionally safe. Is it about feeling seen and heard? I sit and make myself feel seen and heard, literally by taping myself and hearing myself, my own words, and by accepting the fact that it's okay to feel this way, acknowledging each one of the needs. That is, in and of itself, fulfillment. Now, as I just viewed the video that you watched, that part, and I can tell you, I want to break down in a very short segment what just happened. This the parts, the math, if you'll indulge me. So what I was experiencing anxiety, right? I was experiencing anxiety. I was experiencing physical and mental symptoms or clues or evidence that there was something that I needed in that moment. I needed to check in with myself. I was able to stop, to actively participate, to be intentional, as opposed to just giving into it and rolling with it and having it affect my taping session, right? Because I noticed it was affecting my taping session. So for those of you who've watched the mind game video, and for those of you who haven't, I'm going to try to break this down for both audiences. And that is, the issue there was obviously, it was anxiety, right? I was experiencing physical and mental symptoms that I had to stop and check in on, right? Normally, what we tend to focus on when we are anxious is the thing out here that we think is making us anxious, right? We completely miss out on the fact that it's not about the thing that's out here, right? There's a basic emotional need that our mind and our body is informing us about, that we need to fulfill, so that those thoughts and those feelings can set aside and we can move on smoothly without them bogging us down, right? In that moment, I noticed the mental, physical symptoms, noticed the anxiety, and I could acknowledge, well, I'm sitting here and I'm taping this, and what I want is to have this perfect video, is to have this perfect session, to roll through with it, get it done, so that I can feel seen and heard and safe and accepted, right? And so that I understand, for me, having done my own work, for me, I understand that worry of the video comes from my own history of needing things to be perfect, because that is how, in my childhood, I came to register. I would feel good. I would feel good if things rolled, if things were perfect. That's how I would feel safe, seen, and heard, right? If things rolled on through, I would feel enough if I was able to do things spot on. If I was able to do them right, then I was going to have good feelings. Then I could feel enough, because that's what this is about, right? Our journey to mental health is about us feeling good, is about us feeling enough. And to no longer anchor our sense of feeling good and feeling enough on all of these things out here, right? To me, I was anchoring that sense of feeling good, anchoring that sense of feeling enough on this video. And this video going according to plan, right? I had to stop and I had to check in with me and realize, well, I'm projecting, and it's not actually about this video, is it? This video is the false need, right? It's not about the video at all. This video is the distractor. I'm focusing on the video and it being perfect, but it's not about the video. It's about this actually unmet emotional need that I need to fulfill. My need to feel safe, my need to feel accepted, my need to feel tended to. Let me sit and acknowledge, tend to me, make myself feel safe, give myself that space so that I can accept and fulfill these needs, so that I can set aside these feelings, these thoughts, this anxiety, and actually roll on through with this little project that I'm doing for today, right? And so I was able to stop and fulfill, so that I could go on with my day, right? And I was able to acknowledge it's not about the video. It's about me and these basic needs. Let me fulfill so I can roll on through. Again, this is not a process that is overnight. Please understand, this isn't something that you can just stop and do. And if you can, that's great. But if you can't, and this all sounds very odd, and this all sounds very difficult, please understand that is very valid, and you're very right. This is something that takes practice to do, and I am here doing it and breaking it down to the extent that I can and that I know how, to give you a little bit of understanding and observation of what it looks like to just even overcome a tiny little thing that we might think isn't a big deal, right? Because I could have just ignored all that and just kept struggling through the video and made it a much longer session, and maybe have had to, roll on over to the next day because I couldn't get it done, which has happened in the past. No, I was able to just, okay, I have these needs, let me fulfill, done, move on with the day, video's done, right? So again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time.